Hello everybody, I thought I'd just do a little bit more about Elizabeth and her coronation. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest, because when you look up Prince Philip, by the way, he has a title of His Royal Highness. You can only have that title if you're in line for the throne, which they're saying he wasn't. So we'll just go through the little video. You can see there it says, obviously it's mentioned the funeral, His Royal Highness Philip Duke, and there's a list of titles he carries. And it says, oh, where is it? Maybe we'll come up to it in a minute. There's a bit more. He was a prince anyway. He was Prince of... It's gone out of my brain. We'll wait to get to it. It's coming up in a minute. It's of, is it Denmark and Greece? That's it. But anyway, let's have a look at the video. As well as the title. Yes, there you are. As well as the title of Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip was bestowed the titles of Earl of whatever it was, Baron of this, and referred to as the Duke of Edinburgh. And his title was a mouthful of at least 133 words long. And he never... Because what my point is, a lot of these kings have got married and their wives have become queens. I mean, they say about... I mean, I don't believe it all happens anymore, but, you know, like it's not the way that... Anyway, we'll carry on. Everybody knows how I feel. But... they say about Kate, she's going to be a consort queen. She's got no entitlement to the throne, but she's married Prince William and she'll become a queen. But that's what her title will be on in it. There'll be that. But he was Your Royal Highness, Queen, but she'll be a consort queen. So I don't understand why Philip didn't make it to consort king. The prince married Elizabeth II 5 years before she became queen, but when she was crowned he wasn't given the title of king. That's because Prince Philip, who is actually a former prince, there you are, of Denmark and Greece, was never in line to the British throne. But neither is Kate, and she's going to be called a consort queen. So why wasn't he called consort king? I don't get that. He was more royal. He was a Romanov. They were cousins. Thought that was a bit of a sneaky photograph. Looks like they get on alright, doesn't it? But do you know what? He's called His Royal Highness when he wasn't even crowned a king consort. And I know that everybody thinks this is crazy maybe, but he must have been a lot more powerful than they're saying he was. He must have had a hidden title or a hidden job, or he was king or something, and maybe his was done privately and hers was done publicly. I don't understand, because I know you're going to say, is she crazy or what? But it's almost as if from when he went, and we know it wasn't when they said, but everything's been changing, like a change of power sort of thing that's going on in the background in this big empire that the Queen has. Anyway, let's move on. When you take the top of her crown off and just have the bottom of it, and with what she's wearing, she looks Egyptian, doesn't she? Or much more Egyptian looking sort of statement. It's just that big bit on top of the crown which looks different, but I suppose still even like that she looks Egyptian. I was looking at Philip. I wanted to see what was on his clothes. She's got those bracelets on. Princess Anne. That's Princess Anne. Looking for that eagle, but we're going to see it, but not on her coronation stuff. I didn't see it there, but it's there, and I'm going to show you in a moment. Anyway, she looks quite pretty, doesn't she? He's got a lot of medals. There's her coronation. that's like the Trump one, the Hitler one, remember? With the circle underneath and the emblem on the top. So the Queen has it as well. And looking at that picture, I don't think it really, I know it's not that clear, but it doesn't really look like the Queen, I don't think. Anyway, and also that eagle. See, up here, there's a dove. And down here, there's an eagle. And I think that's what she had on her staff that day, not the white dove. She had the eagle. So it's part of the Holy Roman Empire because it's the same eagle. And I think the Queen's the top of it. This one's supposed to be a rose with, I don't really see it as a rose, but anyway, you know, these are all going to have symbols on them. But that's Holy Roman Empire again. But I think she's the top of it. I think she's like an empress. She is a goddess, basically, because she's in control of it all. I really quite liked what this guy said. James forwarded me this person, and I thought I actually heard her say in the speech, in sincerity, but then when I went back to go and find it, I couldn't. I thought that was a bit strange, but then I've been talking about this word in sincerity with James, and he directed me to this person. So I've taken a few minutes of his video. He put this out in 2019. I hope he doesn't mind. I'll leave you a link to his video below, and yeah, listen to what he says. Yeah, also, just as we're here, so if you're saying in sincerity, you're not expressing or showing true feelings, not sincere or honest. Other words from insincere. Okay. So, obviously sincerity. What does in all sincerity? Used to stress that a statement is true. In all sincerity, we could not have done this project without your help. So they mean completely different things.
Sometimes when we've been deceived or been a thing called doublespeak, we've been subjected to a form of doublespeak, we may not have entered into these so-called trusts quite as voluntary as they assume us to have entered into. And in the 1953 Queen's coronation speech, there's a section here where she uses the word insincerity or sincerity, but placed it with an in front of it. But when she speaks the word, as you can see, as you can hear here,
I have in sincerity pledged myself to your service, as so many of you are pledged to mine.
As you can see, the word insincerity or insincerity, either way, whether the word is in and sincerity or insincerity is one word, either way, it sounds like insincerity. Now this is a section, this is an extract from the speech, but it's just one paragraph. You can get this online now. But back in 1953 it was probably a little bit hard to get the transcript. So even in this transcript that we have here, as you can see,
the ceremonies you have seen today are ancient, and some of their origins are veiled in the mists of the past. But their spirit and their meaning shine through the ages, never perhaps more brightly than now. I have in sincerity pledged myself to your service, as so many of you are pledged to mine. Throughout all my life and with all my heart, I shall strive to be worthy of your trust.
They've used the word in and sincerity as two separate words. We'll get to that in a minute. This section goes, the ceremonies you have seen today are ancient, and some of their origins are veiled in the mists of the past. We'll just stop there for a second. Veil means a covering, hidden to the plain to see. So already the Queen is making a statement that that this speech derives from ancient hidden meanings in the past. So she's telling you already that this is to be very careful. But their spirit and their meaning shine through the ages, never, perhaps, more brightly than now. And here it is. Here's the very part that I'm concerned about. She says, I have in sincerity pledged myself to your services, as so many of you are pledged to mine. Well, that's setting up a trust where she becomes the first trustee, and then we become the trustee of her, which is a switch, which is a conversion. Throughout all my life and with all my heart, I shall strive to be worthy of your trust. There's a trust set up. It's a trust law. But the disturbing part about this is, I have in sincerity pledged myself. Or is it, I have in sincerity pledged myself? When it is spoken, it can't be distinguished. It can't be deciphered, whether it's insincerity or insincerity. So I went onto the Webster's dictionary in relation to how this word sincerity is to be used in order that it be clear and not be confusing. And it is used as in all sincerity. So when you're using the word sincerity, it's always used as in all sincerity in order to not be confusing with the word insincerity. See, insincerity and insincerity sound too much the same. It could be confusing, or it could be a form of doublespeak. So if the Queen and her speech writers of the time had so much access to the grammatical ability of English, the grammar science, the grammars, the people that know more about grammar than any of us put together, you would think that she would have the ability, given all of her access to such English speech writers, that they would make sure that they use the words in that speech in a clear, precise way.
What to say? She's changing all the time. Sometimes I even saw this in the what's case. It's like this other film there. And then they've put, there's a sort of Roman look when you look to her right arm is now a different colour to her left arm. And she's looking a bit masculine again. It's definitely darker than the other side. Is she now sort of looking more Roman? So funny how they get the glisten on there. But she's just changing all the time. And the man behind, let's go back to that. The man behind is in black and white, but she's not. I've actually thought, well, first of all, I wondered if some of it was happening because they were converting a black and white film into colour, but I don't think so at all. Just look at it all. I'm sorry, there's no excuses. She's very computer-like. I mean, there she looks like she's got her hair up. She comes in wearing one crown. I mean, it gets even better in a minute. She turned into a man. Oh, now she's back as the queen. Well, being the queen. Where's her face gone? Look at that. Let's play that bit again. Did you see that? Let's go back to here. Did you see that? Watch this when she turns around. Did you see that? There's now, looks like another man there. Then she goes into Snow White. Well, you know what I mean, like a coming from a film. Look, she's changing all over the place in front of you. Don't even know what to say. I don't think this has anything to do with the black and white to the colour. I don't think any of it is real. Look at this. Suddenly realise, look, she's a prince or something. Anyway, her face turns into a man. There, look. They look like Prince or Little Richard or something. Just for a few seconds. This is just incredible. Look, she's a man. Whoa. Man still. And then when she comes the other side, still a man. Just for that second, they look like a Roman. Did you see that? Keeps flicking into a Roman. Oh my god, now she comes back into being a version of the Queen. Maybe with a bun on the back of her head. I don't even know how they do it. But they do it. Scuttle, scuttle. They always scuttle across when you slow them down. Oh my god. What are we living in? Anyway, we're going to go on to the next bit. There goes the prince. Let's go to the next bit. I spent a long time doing this video for one reason or another. It was almost as if I wasn't supposed to put it out. It's taken me hours. I uploaded it. Oh, lo and behold, when we'd got to the bit about the actual, this part of it for like 15 minutes was copyrighted. And so I've had to change things a bit, and so we don't hear them. And I'm hoping that this will go through as I'm making it again. So spending more time on this video. I wanted to hear the word that she said, but I don't understand why this part of the video, so I've just blanked the rest of the video out and we will talk over the top. She has to sign these things, you know, because she's being made the queen. In a minute she will she's like being offered, and then to the altar of God, because this whole thing's all to do with God. Then they ask her, well, actually that guy there, the guy in the darker colour, he gives a Bible, the Scottish Bible, and then they go and put that on the altar, and then he asks her specific questions about her ruling and who she rules, and that's annoying in itself, because although I've talked about it and who's in the Commonwealth, you know, you're in charge of England, Scotland, Wales, whichever countries they added on in that, Australia, New Zealand, the whole lot. And are you prepared, like, be the queen for that? Yes, I do. And this is the kind of thing that's going on. But anyway, then they have to, well, she was wearing something else just a minute ago. She comes in with one crown on, wearing whatever you call them, cloak. Then that goes up, that's a bit Roman-like, and then they stick this on her, and she looks even more Roman-like, Egyptian-like. I mean, that whole thing is bizarre, so we're going to have a look at it in a minute. I mean, as if she'd turn around like that. I realise this whole thing is just, this whole thing. Anyway, here comes one of her staffs. Oh no, that's a sword. For this bit of the ceremony, the sword is there. And look at the person in the background with the stripes on him, Egyptian now. And then, oh, we're going to go back, let's have a look. Hopefully we go back, because I'm having to change everything, so I'm doing it a different way and I can't just stop the video. But anyway, there you go, it's presented to the altar. I just don't think it looks that magnificent really, but then she goes back to her seat. Where is he? Where's he gone? There's them. Oh, we've lost it now. Then she gets given bracelets. One's of, oh, I can't even remember the names now. But she gets given these two bracelets that she wears, which she's wearing all day. Yes, there's a man there with stripes on, very Egyptian. And then one of these men, I think it's him, these are much taller. He was quite short. Hopefully people would have seen that. And then she gets extra bits put on and more into the ceremony they go. Then a different, whatever you want to call it, cloak comes. Then she gets given the scepter. I just think these things are absolutely bizarre. Look at that, we see that all the way down and see the light, look at that. And them underneath. Special effects. And then that's supposed to be the white dove of peace and stuff, but I don't see it being white. I just think that's a little eagle on there. But we can never really make it out. But when I've looked things up, it doesn't matter whether it's a dove or a phoenix or an eagle or a griffin. They're all the same thing. They're still all the same thing. And don't forget the queen. Oh, that's her second crown. That great big thing. She has 10 beasts. You should look that up. Look up the 10 beasts of the queen, which carries all those animals and more. As they're her beasts, she must be in control of it all. That's what I think. Anyway, that's supposed to be Princess Margaret, although there I don't think it looks like Princess Margaret personally, with Prince Charles. So there she is with her staffs. I don't know, does that look like a white dove? I just think, considering they've got white bits on their jackets, that the dove would stand out more. But the staff is gold and the thing on the top looks the same colour. Anyway, it's a dirty great crown on her head. There's the Queen Mum with Prince Charles and Princess Margaret. Not that you can tell, by the way. That's Muttley, the dog next door, barking away. Anyway, then she has to be helped up to the crown, to the chair, because I think I don't know what that's about. It looks very awkward. And now she is throned. She is now properly the Queen of England. So, like the three wise men, come up and say we allegiance to you and rah-de-rah-de-rah. And then the next person that comes along is her husband. But we'll continue with that. So, I noticed the little boy in the background has one of the best views possible. He's not that far behind the Queen and he's watching it all. Who is he? I don't think that's Prince Charles. Prince Charles with the Queen Mum. So that little boy gets this amazing view of the Queen in black and white. And so forth. I don't know why they haven't turned him colour like the rest. I don't know. She looks so strange. I just think that I just don't know what they've done. She's a man sometimes. There's that little boy. Has the best view possible. Can't see her face. Not sure if she's got darker again. It's a bit home and Roman like, isn't it, with that thing on spike and on poles. This bit's a bit interesting. Samurai! I don't know what it is. I just don't know how. That means no one ever sees anything. Everybody just thinks that everybody else has been to see it, but they haven't. So I know her hair's changing. It does. And then I just don't know who turns round there. It's like a man. As they turn round. It doesn't really look like the Queen, does it? I don't know what goes on there. Well, Queen, hair bun, it's different. And then a man. I noticed this with I think the one that became the Tsar of Russia. Well, maybe it was his dad, I can't remember, but all these weird things were happening. It was just a bit hard to explain it to people because it was a bit dark, the footage anyway. I could see giraffes and elephants, all sorts of things in there, just where it's like they say, AI, go mad. So you've basically got to make this video and do it somehow. Stick everything together. I don't know. I mean, I just don't think this is a man. Look. Does that look like the Queen? What did they say? Well, we'll just take a bit of your uncle's footage and stick it in, but he looks like that samurai thing again, or whatever. This bit is really crazy. So I've stuck this bit in so that you can see the back of that vicar, priest, whatever you want to call him, archbishop, and you can see them all, you can see what they're wearing. Well, just wait for this bit. Just wait for this bit. It's amazing that you watch it and you know things and you see, you see things through watching, and then suddenly you're watching it again and you see something else. So we're going to do this bit. It's going to come Just got to wait for it to finish. I sped it up because I wanted you to see what they were all dressed in. The priests, because whatever you want to call them. And then it's when he's putting the crown on her head or doing whatever he's doing. Look, it's Holy Roman Empire. That's Holy Roman Empire. Look at him, the one in the top, sorry, the bottom right hand corner. Now he's looking like a Roman emperor. Oh, sorry, just the Roman, from the Roman Empire. Doesn't really look like a vicar anymore. I see these things added all over the place. I just see them. Sometimes I don't say anything because I'm hoping you'll see them. Or it just gets too much mentioning every time I see this Romany part. Bless you, George.
Thank you very much.
I see these bits in the video. Roman. Looks more Roman, doesn't it? Or Egyptian then. There he is. Just about to put the crown on her head. Amazing. Here comes the crown. They all stand to say, "Hail King." Makes sense because there's a man. I mean, oh my goodness, look at his face. I know he's behind the scepter, but look at his eyes. But they say, "Hail the King." It's the king to the king. I've played it to a few people. They hear king. Look at that. He's got no head. What is that over his head? Let's go with, I think we go back. This person here, look, what is this? And, I don't know, look at the Queen. It doesn't look very Elizabeth-like, does it? This bit's easy. This is supposed to be her sister. Does that look Princess Margaret? Come on. Didn't get a much bigger image of her than of the Queen, but I don't know, is that Roman thing again? That looked like Princess Margaret. Come on. I don't know what happens with her neck. It's supposed to be glistening, but it's all mechanical. Look at that. Who is really being crowned? It's not even that long ago. This was 1953. Everybody thinks it's thousands of years ago. I wasn't born when they were crowned, but my parents were. Anyway, let's continue with the movie, because it is a movie of some kind, or who is being crowned. So, I still think she looks quite, Egyptian-like, but anyway, the next to come up to her is her husband. And I mean, his robe has to have someone to carry the end of it, so it's longer than other people's. And this whole thing with he's called the Royal Highness, he's called Prince Philip, isn't he? Because in his right he was, even though he was supposedly tossed out, his family, but he's called his Royal Highness, and I just don't get that. If you can only be called the Royal Highness if you're in line to rule, or could be. That's why Kate will be called a consort queen. So he's quite well up because someone's holding his bottom of his thing, his robe. I do allegiance to you, righty well. Some of them are her cousins, and then it goes to this sort of Lord Marshal. I still just don't get these. The lights. No one needs to hold his one, so he's not as high up. This is just bananas. I don't know if we've gone past the bit with the little boy that was in the, or you know, behind her when she was being. There was a little boy, and he was like, this was black and white made into colour, and the little boy. I think I bring it up a bit in my I don't know if I've done it already or I'm going to do it because I'm having to add this because it seemed to be copyrighted. So I'm hoping that it goes through this way. There's a little boy there. He has one of the best views of the whole thing. I mean, look at that person there. Look how small they are. This one. Oh, I can't go back because the narration, you can't go back. But that was a little person. Then he has to give, I think it's £100 or guineas or whatever it is for her being crowned. And then they go for a bit of bread. I don't know, I just keep noticing things. I notice more than I noticed before. They're all layers, just layers. One on top of the other. It's not very bright in there, is it? Look how dull it is. And them coming out, they look just so weird. If they had their arms out in front, they'd be going, like zombies. I don't know what they are. They just don't look very good. The thing into colour, maybe in those days you thought, wow, colour. Well, I don't see that. I just see lots of like monsters. I mean, you can't, oh, it's gone on. You can't even work out what they are. So more or less at the beginning comes Prince Philip. He looks pretty mighty, doesn't he? He looks almost like a king, except his crown. He's got a hat like they've got these hats on, which I'm sure you've seen in the footage. So he didn't have a crown put on, but something's changed since, I don't know. There's one of those crowns there. She's now got a different robe on as well. And then she goes off. It's this afterwards. I can't remember now whether she's got the other crown on now. I think I mark it on the video. But she has 3 crowns. And the 2 crowns that she's wearing, I think that's a different crown. When you've got other kings and queens, they wear... One wears the king's crown, one has the queen's crown, and she's wearing both of them in this day. So she comes in wearing one kind of crown, then she has this great big monstrosity put on her head that is always like, help me, don't touch me, don't make me smile, don't make me do nothing. It's quite big on top of her head. And then when she's leaving, there's another one. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this bit. And I know it's going to be a bit bizarre because it's all bizarre. I mean, look at what they're wearing and everything. I mean, what era are they supposed to be covering? Because it looks like Disneyland, doesn't it? And another thing I noticed, which I didn't say before. Why aren't they standing? She's coming through now. None of the people are standing. She's just been made queen. Thought that was a bit weird. And I don't understand why when they went in, they were walking towards the soldiers on the right, and walking out, they're walking on the soldiers on the left, or the other way round. Anyway, yeah, she's looking a bit more like Princess Margaret now. Here comes the Queen Mum, but that doesn't look right, does it? The footage, you can see. You see, what I see is that there's a film thing over there, because none of those people are coming through. They're coming through at a point down here, because behind them is a green screen with them coming through. Do you see that? They're magically oh, I wish I could play that back, but hopefully everybody understands that, which I'm going to talk a bit about. I just hope you see what I see. That things just don't look right. I don't think any of this was real. They were obviously really good at special effects and so forth in the 1950s. So much so that for 70 years, people haven't realised that none of this was real. They look a bit weird in this procession here. Look at that. Look at the one at the bottom, the first one. Look at them. You can't really make anybody out, can you? See, these are different crowns. So she put this one on, and I think, well, I'm going to check in the pictures, but she was either wearing that one or that one. Probably that one, I don't know, but she was wearing definitely this one. But you see, it's bigger. It's bigger than that one. She was wearing these crowns on the coronation. She didn't just wear one crown or two crowns. She had 3 crowns on. Now, this is Queen Victoria's son wearing the crown. This is what I mean, see? It was okay for her to wear this crown and him to wear that crown, but in that ceremony the Queen wore both of those crowns. There she is with the big crown on, this one, and then she puts this crown on. Oh, it's all crazy. What does it mean? Why was she wearing both of those? One was for a king and one was for a queen. Why didn't Philip? You know, okay, the Queen had to have worn... I don't understand. I know that maybe they just didn't want to make him a crown or something. Made them crowns, or they had crowns. Do you see what I mean? How weird is that? So why wasn't Prince Philip wearing one of these? Anyway, Thanks for watching this bit. These things also mean things. He doesn't quite have them the same, but he has things all over the top of his jacket. Don't know what difference that means. Obviously means you're the king and they've got these crowns on. Yeah, I think that must be... Because don't forget we had Wallace and Simpson before that. I think there was another one. There was him. Then there was the Tsar, or the one that played the Tsar. Then there became Wallace and Simpson one. And then there became him. And then there became the Queen. He's got things all over. So he was obviously quite powerful. And he looked like he was dressed as a king. He just didn't have a proper crown on his head. Don't you think it's really strange that the Queen was wearing both crowns? Anyway, let's continue. Don't you think it's crazy? I just think that she's superimposed in. If you go back just to here, you've got this line round her, which means she's superimposed in. It's all round her. It's all round her head. So what happens there? It doesn't look right, does it? Well, they're all superimposed in. Anyway, in a minute, the video, well, in a minute or two, the video is going to finish, and I just want you to have a look at all the marching. Oh my god. I'm just going to let that play out, and hopefully you can see it for yourself. And those three men, you know, like if you didn't know much better, they're like the three wise men. They came up to her after she was crowned. But I'm just going to show you something in a moment when we get to it. Right. Okay, look at the size of them to the Queen. See what it is they're going that way, and they're going, well, I don't know how they've done it. They're really good at special effects, aren't they? These ones are going like this way, and they're superimposed in over there. I hope you saw that. Can't even tell who anybody is. And she looks a bit more like, I suppose, Princess Margaret now, or even the Queen. But superimposed, superimposed. Superimposed on you. Superimposed on you. Look at that. Maybe there's been a bit of a mix up here when they went from black and white to colour, but anyway, I think we're coming up to the end now. I mean, look at that. Who is that? now we're going to look at this bit, and the video will end on this. But please tell me what you think to what you see. Look at that. Do you see what I mean? There's a line in there. Anyway, let's watch the end of the video and then give me your comments. Look at his hand then. Oh, I hope you can capture that. I'm doing this on narration. I can't stop the video when it starts. I've explained why, but anyway. All superimposed in the whole lot. Oh, the wind's just suddenly really picked up. That was weird, that wind. Oh my god! That wasn't the wind? Wow! I hope that noise came out on the computer. That was loads of birds flying onto my roof, and then I moved the curtain and they all flew away. Oh, birds, come back! Oh, last one just gone. That was amazing. Here they come. Oh, do you hear them? Whoa. Did you see that, Ellie? Did you see all the birds? I thought it was the wind and I moved the curtain and all these birds flew off. I'm making too much noise now. They probably won't come, but if they come again, I'll tell you. Whoa. Well, I think I'm not very interested. Anyway, that's what she said. But anyway, look at all this. The birds are far more interesting than what we're looking at probably. But now the dog's going to start barking. But yeah, I can't believe that all that thing was built around the church, and it looks like she's coming out the side door and the whole thing. Anyway, we're coming to the end of this little bit of video and we're moving on, but I had to change everything. You know, they copyrighted it. Anyway, here comes the people, and we're going to see the Queen of Tonga. That's what I'm going to talk about next. Yeah, but none of them were there, so just they. So there you go. He's 6 foot. Prince Philip was 6 foot. This is Queen Tonga. Now he is 6 foot, and I know his head's down a little bit, but it wasn't. Typical, isn't it? Let's go back there. It's his head up. Come on, Philip, get your head up. Oh, let's move it on then. Look at the size of her though. She's twice the size of them. She's a giant. She's supposed to be 6'3". Philip is 6 foot and she was 6'3", but I kind of wanted this just to play on for my little bit of video, but the Queen of Tonga is just, she's a giant. Here comes Winston Churchill, rah rah rah, and none of it's real. Just none of it's real. Don't know how they did any of it, but I really believe the bit in the background. See, you can just tell they're all put in. This is like a, I don't know how they're doing it, because it's quite a long green screen, isn't it? But they did. All these people are put in. A whole lot. Unbelievable, but it's true. When they're marching a bit more in a minute, you'll see what I mean, hopefully. I mean, I've had to speed it up a little bit, so to get round the... There you go. They're just all put in. This line here is amazing. I don't know. I actually think... Do you see there's a line down here? I know they come round that corner, but there's something like... When they start going, they all come down here, and then it's like this lot come from the left. Do you see what I mean? These... I don't know. Well, however they've done it though. And I mean, just look at how many, like the amount of military there is. Does that say that? That just shows you the Queen owns nearly everything. I think, you know, you look here, you can see their faces disappear down here. So, you know, these are a layer here. Look, you can see through that man's head face there. You just got different layers. That's a layer. This is a layer. I mean, it's on a video. They've cut it how they wanted. But it's just... You see, it's none of this. They've done all this. Ooh. God, the people are moving. You pick a point and they're all sort of... It's only double speed, not quadruple speed. Oh, yes. How do they build him? Just look at it all. Like you can see it for what it is. It's... Oh, those ones because, look, they haven't coloured them in. Oh, they're coloured in again now. Do you see what I mean? You can distinctly see a line where this lot are coming in and this lot, but it looks like they're on a bend. But that's how they've done it, so that this isn't real and then they're all coming in, but the whole thing's crazy because they made it up. Hopefully you can see it with the marching. I don't know how they did it. Or maybe it's just someone who's really good at doing the special effects, but most of the people seem to come in from this direction, even though they're coming in this, and I know it's supposed to be a bend and everything, but you know, when people walk past these people, you can see through their faces, so yeah. Here she comes. Click clop, click clop, click clop. I mean, it's just, I don't think that that's a particularly grand entrance for her to come out, to be honest. Looks like she's coming out the side door. And her carriage is beautiful, except those things on the back. I don't like them. I've done, there's 4 of them on there. I've done videos on them. I just don't think they just don't look good. I just didn't think that they'd be doing this to us so long ago, but they do. And they did. It's hard to believe they built all that on the side of the church. I hope you realise it doesn't look real. So what? They all thought, oh, look at the thousands that went. Nobody went. Just the same thing. You just filmed it all before and nothing is ever real. It's just not real. Anyway, these are all the people marching for the Queen. Just look at the amount of people. This is me taking over the empire. I don't know, maybe this bit was real. I just don't know. It wasn't real before. What an empire. Here she comes. Painted wagon. It looks pretty painted though, doesn't it? Zing! I wonder how many of those trees are left. I noticed when we were looking up at Buckingham Palace, not all the curtains were drawn, some of the curtains were open. I thought that was a bit, I don't know, there was a shot of it, or I watched it on another one and I was like, wow. Well, they don't care that we haven't noticed, do they? They just don't care. Was there really all these people there? They're going, "We want the Queen! We want the Queen!" Look at the pillars, they're enormous. Can't make anybody out there. It's almost hard to make people out there, isn't it? Oh look, it's light across there, look. Bet that's to do with the filming. Whoa. So she has 3 crowns that day. I don't really understand what is she the husband? Is she the male and the female? That is a different crown to that monster that was put on her head earlier on. Anyway, that's the end of that. And look at that, I only just noticed that line across there. Is that one, or the other pillar had one as well. Just look at the people, just look at it. Oh my God, I wonder if they were crowned today, would as many people turn up? A bit of architecture now, because I even liked, it was Laurence Olivier was doing some of it. And I quite liked some of the wordings that were said, but it was copyrighted. But that was the coronation of the Queen. What a load of rubbish. Just so disappointed. You know, for years I followed this stuff. You know, it's one of the things you think you're proud of is your royal family. Well, there she is, actress. E.R. And the guy goes, "Elizabeth, the Queen, we want you to live forever." Wow. So that's a different crown that she ends up wearing at the end of the day. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. What's your thoughts?